Very happy Wednesday evening, ladies and gents. So, I'm currently going live on LinkedIn and YouTube, which is super exciting. Let's talk about all things leaving our comfort zone. And I am chiming in this afternoon or this evening from Bali, Indonesia. So, I'm super excited to be here online with you all. And some of you may have seen my recent post in regards to today's topic. And so today's topic and the thing that I really want to speak into is having the power and the strength which comes from deep within yourself to have the ability to detach from external labels. And for those who are joining me, whether you're here with me on LinkedIn and or over on YouTube, please feel free to use the comment box. If you've got any questions, let it be an interactive conversation. So when it comes to labels, when it comes to titles, we all, no matter where we may be in the world, no matter your age, your cultural background, we all know that we choose to wear certain titles and labels. And you may have been in a position, or you may currently be in a position right now or in a space where you feel that certain titles and or labels are part of your identity. And at times, a lot of people can actually get so mentally and emotionally attached to certain labels that it can actually restrict you from allowing yourself to feel a level of self-expression. Sometimes what happens is when you stay attached to labels and titles, it actually refrains you and or stops you from actually growing and evolving to the next version of you. And at times you may notice if you stay attached to a certain job title, for example, that you can actually feel a level of disconnection from who you are at the core of you being you. And even though it's fantastic, like myself, I've gone from being a global recruiter in my professional career and allowing myself to grow and develop and expand personally and also professionally. I have given myself a title as a life and career alignment coach and mentor. Though I know when I'm not in business as such, even though I always feel like I'm switched on, is that I know who I am at the core of me being me. And what I would love to empower you to do is ask yourself, who are you without the external labels? And so, say, for example, you're an engineering manager, you're a mum or a dad, you're a mum, a dad, a business owner, a wife, a daughter. You've got all these beautiful, really, really beautiful titles and labels. So if you were to remove all these hats, remove all these labels, who are you at the core of you being you? And if you have been experiencing, maybe it's over the last few weeks, maybe it's over the last few months, you found yourself questioning who you are. You may have been finding yourself questioning what's important to you. You may have been finding yourself questioning what lights you up. You may have been finding yourself questioning, what is my purpose? And so what can happen when you choose to detach yourself from these labels? And sometimes people give us labels and we just accept them. So ask yourself, have you accepted a label that really doesn't align to who you are? And it may have been a label when you were a lot younger. And now you may be 20. You may be in your 40s. You may even be in your 60s. And though at any given moment, you do have the strength inside you and you have the ability to shift the way that you want to believe when it comes to labels that you choose to be attached to. As a career coach, I am forever receiving inquiries from men and women globally who think I am still a recruiter. And though after 15 years, it was really challenging. I will be lying to you if I say it wasn't challenging to remove that title as a global recruiter after 15 years. Though if I still choose to say, yes, I am a recruiter, though I know deep down that's not what I choose to do anymore. I'm actually being dishonest to myself. I'm not actually staying true to with where I'm at right now. And so you may be in a position where it's like you felt this calling within you. You're hearing these voices within you that are actually saying, I'm no longer the version I am today. I am no longer choosing to stay attached to these labels. This label or this title once served you, many years ago, or may have even stopped only a few weeks ago. So this is where being in your sovereignty and actually being anchored and grounded within who you are gets to be really powerful. So at any given moment, you get to shift the dial in your life. You get to change the direction of your path personally and also in your professional career. And also you you get to remove any hats, any labels. You also get to remove a label and or a hat, and at the same time, if you desire and you choose to wear a new hat, a new label, because that is aligned to the new person that you are, it is actually aligned to who you are at the core of you being you. Trust yourself when you make those decisions. And you may also be in a position where you notice that, you know what, I no longer want to wear this label. I no longer want to wear this title as such. And though you're waiting for someone, a loved one, a colleague, a friend, someone very dear to you to say, yes, that's a fantastic idea. Go and do it. Go and remove that title. Go and remove that label. So I would love to empower you to start trusting yourself even more. I would love to empower you to believe in yourself even more. Because at the end of the day, this is your life, this is your journey, and you get to choose and fully own what labels and titles you choose to be attached to. So ask yourself here as you're watching this, whether you're here with me live on YouTube, whether you're here live with me on LinkedIn, and or if you're catching it on the replay across all the different social media platforms, what titles and or labels are you ready to detach yourself from? Because at the end of the day, being connected with who you are at the core essence of you being you is more powerful than an external label. And you may know many people that stay attached to an external label. Some of you may have seen on my social media platform this week, only 2 days ago, I think it was, I received a message from a gentleman on LinkedIn. And all he said to me was, Tara, I need a job. Because I was annoyed. I was triggered because I was like, I don't know you from a bar of soap. One, I'm no longer a recruiter. Two, what's happened with the level of communication these days? It's like people have forgotten how to communicate and how to start a conversation. Though, as I read through his profile, he is in a managerial role. And I understand when you're in a leadership position, you can speak to people. Some people think they can speak to certain people in a certain way because of their title. So, from my perspective, I really do not care what titles or labels people choose to wear. At the end of the day, we are all human, and it comes down to communication and it comes down to respect. And no matter what titles my beautiful clients wear and choose to wear, and how hard they've had to work to get themselves to a certain level where they are wearing these titles of leadership and management and all the things. And one, I acknowledge they've worked their butt off to get themselves there. So at the end of the day, we are all human. And at the end of the day, if you truly know who you are without all these labels and all these titles and with all these fancy position job titles that a lot of people tend to attach themselves to me, that is a level of self-confidence and a level of absolute worthiness when you know who you are without your external labels and titles. So if anything is landing for you, please feel free to use the comment section below. Feel free to send me a private message here on LinkedIn. Send me a private message on social media. For those on YouTube, you'll find links to my social media platform and also a link to LinkedIn as well. So feel free to stay connected and, be a part of my growing and evolving online community. So who are you without your external label? Two, what labels is it time for you to remove? What titles is it time for you to remove? In a sense of you've got certain goals and desires for your own life. You've got certain goals and desires for your professional career. You have certain goals and desires for your relationship, for your business. So what titles are you currently wearing, or what labels are you currently wearing that may be hindering you from progressing and elevating and or moving in the direction you truly want to go in? And sometimes because we have worn certain labels and or titles for a certain time, it can feel like there's a part of you that is missing when you remove it. Like for me to remove the hat of a global recruiter after 15 years, to help me, one, I said a prayer. Two, I acknowledge the amount of effort and time and dedication and emotions that went into the 15 years as a recruiter. I then actually announced it on social media, and I felt like for me, that was part of the release component by actually verbally announcing it. I didn't have to do that, but that is what I chose to do. Though it's actually how it helped me on my own professional journey. It helped me by actually disclosing and sharing that I was no longer going to wear that hat, that I was no longer going to be a recruiter, that I was now choosing to give myself a new title. And that's where true sovereignty comes into play. That is where true self-trust and self-belief comes into play, is when you start making decisions because they align to what's important to you and what your values are and the direction you actually choose to go in now. So what titles, what labels are you ready to let go of? And it may mean that you let go of some titles and or labels, and it's time for you to embrace the new. It is time for you to embrace growth. It is time for you to embrace expansion. And give yourself the new titles, especially if you're a business owner. And even those who are exploring the opportunities or exploring the like a new timeline of transitioning in your professional career. Like take time to celebrate your efforts, your time, your dedication, all the hard work that you've had to invest into where you are right now. Take time to celebrate that. Take time to celebrate you. Take time to celebrate your experience and your journey. And then also to take time to celebrate your strength and your courage and the level of boldness it takes for you to remove this label, for you to detach yourself from these titles. And then proudly and wholeheartedly let yourself embrace the new titles, let yourself embrace the new hats, the new titles and labels and all the things that you desire to be attached to. So when we stay attached to things that aren't serving us, it can feel like a level of heaviness that we're wearing, like this big bag that you're carrying around, and that isn't necessarily required anymore. So allowing yourself to actually connect to who you are at the core of you being you, without the labels. And then when you wear all these beautiful and empowering labels and titles, and you're also connected to yourself, trust me, you will accelerate in all your different labels and titles in a really profound way. Why? Because you know who you are without the titles. It's like you know who you are without the title. So you know who you are at the core of you being you. Then you put on all these different titles and hats as such, and watch how the core of you being you starts amplifying even more. Why? Because it actually starts from the inside out. And it comes down to our belief system about who you are. It comes down to your identity. So in the past, when I first started my own journey of personal and professional growth and expansion, I remember my first coach, the beautiful Nadine Muller. She asked me on a connection call, "Who are you?" And straight away I said, "Well, I'm Tara and I'm from New Zealand and I've lived in Australia for all these years, blah, 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 and I'm a recruiter." That's how I defined who I was. And then she says to me, then she asked me, "Who are you without the title?" I was literally like, "What? What did you say?" And now I find myself asking that beautiful question to my clients, because at the end of the day, it comes down to who are you, starting from you inside, internally, inshallah. And it gets to be really, really liberating when you truly know who you are. It gets to be even more powerful and a really incredible feeling when you can just proudly be who you are. And knowing that who you are and how you define who you are and who you believe you are is absolutely freaking perfect. Because we don't need to accept what people outside of us have to, what they say, like in the sense of who you are. You get to define that. You get to own that part of your journey. And if one day you want to say that, I'm absolutely brilliant, I'm intelligent, I am gifted, I embrace my uniqueness, and then you want to change those words, go ahead and do it, because it's your life at the end of the day. And when you can master the beauty of your own mindset when it comes to who you are without the external labels, trust me, you will think of me one day where you're like, fuck, I actually know who I am without my titles, without my external labels. It gets to be really beautiful, it gets to be really powerful. And I know that you'll get to that stage. It's really a remembrance of, we came into this beautiful world without titles and labels. And as we grow and as we evolve, we can continue to elevate in really beautiful and powerful and unique ways. So, who are you without the external labels? What external labels and or titles are you ready to remove and let go? And though that may be an opportunity for you to welcome in and allow yourself to give yourself new titles and or labels. If anything is landing for you, if you have any questions, please drop into the comment section below here on YouTube and or LinkedIn. And or if you'd like to start following me on all things social media, for those on YouTube, all the links are below. Thank you so much for joining me here, even if you are catching it on replay. Hello again from Bali. And I just want to thank you all for your time. I'm so grateful that I've been able to allow myself, and grateful is the word, I'm actually really proud of myself for allowing myself to step into the space of growth, especially when it comes to YouTube. YouTube's a whole new platform, and I'm really excited to see how my online community is going to start expanding and evolving even more, knowing at the end of the day that these live sessions are all about me adding value, sharing valuable insights, and really an opportunity for you to just be able to reconnect with yourself on a much deeper level, especially in such a busy world that we all live in. And knowing that at the end of the day, when you know who you are, that is a level of strength and power that material things cannot buy. And it all literally starts within you. Any questions, comment below. Myself and my team will get back to you, and or just simply reach out on LinkedIn and or on social media and send me a direct message, and let's start a conversation. Sending you lots of love from Bali. Enjoy your evening, and thank you for joining me.